Howdy, Francis here with the Texas Roadrunner channel. This is the last of a series, at least I think it is, of the Texas Highway 90 tour of the area. Now, I was coming home. I was driving from, Del Rio back east again towards the Houston area. And of course, the first major city is Brackettville, Texas. You might remember Brackettville from that last video on Fort Clark Springs that I did. Well, just north of there, you take a little highway and head north, and you will see something kind of interesting. It's Alamo Village. Now, who remembers the movie The Alamo starring John Wayne plus a bunch of other stars? That's where it was filmed. The film set was built there. So after the movie was completed, they kept it up for a number of series of movies and TV shows like Lonesome Dove and that type of thing. And you used to be able to take a tour there, but no more. The family, they were getting up there in age and they had to close things down. So you'll be a little disappointed when I get there, but I'm going to bring in some photos from the past when I went there back in the early 2000s, I think, maybe 2006, I'm guessing, I don't know. But I'll try to recreate for you what's there. It's still there, but it's probably overgrown with weeds right now. But anyway, they had to shut it down because the family just couldn't maintain it anymore. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit of Texas history. Well, welcome to another Tuesday's Travels. We're going to talk about Alamo Village. This is the real Alamo, by the way. That's me and my dad in the background. And this is smack into the downtown San Antonio area. And there's a lot of touristy things to do around there. In fact, that's their gift shop, okay? Let's see, so it's neat to walk around and look at the little kiosks about the information about what took place. And across from the little court area is a monument dedicated to those who fought and died there too. Again, that is the real Alamo. However, back in the 1950s, John Wayne wanted to make a movie about the Alamo. He had a buddy named James Shahan that lived out in Brackettville, had a ranch out there, and he built the darn thing. Again, it's a replica, it's a movie set, but he did a pretty good job of it. And I guess he called up John and said, hey, I built it, you can come. And the Duke came, right? They started on the movie, and of course that's his chair over there. The script was written, and of course the movie filming and production started. Looks like John Wayne was kind of running the show there, right? Who else would do that? Of course, he was portraying Davy Crockett in that movie, and then finally the movie was produced and distributed. It's a really great movie. Of course, like all movies, it was highly dramatized. Now, after the movie was made, they built this western town, and they promoted it with, of course, pamphlets and stuff like that. It was supposed to be a tourist attraction, and we'll get into that. And I went there as a kid. So you get there, you get your little maps, to tell you where to go and for certain shows. And of course, it was promoted by, postcards. What else was it promoted by? Well, of course, word of mouth. And of course, the billboards along the highway system helped, right? It led you right to the place. And of course, every now and then, it would be in the newspapers to help promote it too. So, you know, it was a neat place to visit as a kid, and I've lost those pictures. They would have shootout shows. Those were my favorite, right? What else would they have? They would have, yeah, more shootout shows. As a little kid, that was my favorite, right? But they had cattle drives in there. I think there was a stagecoach that you could ride around for a fee. There was a lot of music acts. Let's see, what else? Just, you know, they had some, I think, an Indian show at one time. I'm not quite sure. Maybe this was just some character who walked around and greeted people. I just don't remember. It was just too long ago. But then again, have I said this before? I always like the shootouts, right? So, it's been a really fun place to visit as a kid. And a lot of other movies were made there. I mean, hundreds. We talked about the Alamo. Then there was Bandolier, right? Starring Dean Martin and Raquel Welch. Oh yeah, Raquel Welch was pretty hot in that movie, and well, she was pretty hot in this movie. I just threw that in there to see if I still had your attention or not. Of course, there was Two Who Rode Together, starring James Stewart, and that was a really good Western. So if you're into Westerns, you know, you might want to check this out. Of course, back in the 80s was Bad Girl. Oh God, what was her name? Oh, the girl that played, shoot, I can't remember. Well, that's her. I threw that one in to see if you were paying attention. Forgot her name. She played the little girl in that Alien movie. Of course, Lonesome Dove was also filmed there. And so if you're ever in Del Rio, Texas, which I was back in, God, I want to say 2000 and, oh God, I can't remember, early 2000s. Just take highways, I think it's 760 something of it. Just look at that map and I just followed the signs, right, to the Shahan Ranches. This is kind of an aerial view. I think I pulled this off of, oh God, Google Maps, right? And so I followed the signs on in. It was a very cold morning, I remember, and there really wasn't anything going on. As you can see, my truck is the only one in the parking lot, right? But I just wanted to walk around, see if I could remember things as a kid. It was off season, so there were no shows. I think the only thing open at the time was like the gift store. That was about it. But this is what you'll see at the actual Alamo movie site, and then nearby is the actual village, or the old Western Town movie set. And so, you know, this is just some typical pictures of what you would see there, if you could see there. In fact, this is a good rendition of how they buried people back then. Well, you know, Mr. Shahan was getting up in his years, and I think he finally passed away, like 2004. His wife kept up the business, and a couple years afterwards, she too passed away. The family tried to keep it up, but I think around 2008 they finally had to shut it down. The kids, it's not like they weren't interested, they just had other things to do. So, looks like that's the old bank building. And so, oh, this has to be the jail, right? So anyway, the kids put it on the market, and I think around, well, I don't know. First they had it's kind of a sad ending because, oh yeah, John Wayne even had his own museum there, and there's the Duke coming up. Well, getting back to the sad part of the story, they finally had to sell the movie set. And I don't know whether it's been sold yet or not. I know it's totally shut down, and I'll show you what's left. Yeah, here's one of the old bars that was in there. Yeah, it went up for auction. So I think it was in 2018 that people came down and did their little silent auctions on all the props. For example, like the stagecoach that you used to be able to ride around in. It's all gone. It's probably all been bought away. So I went back there on this last trip, 2 springs ago. Again, I followed the signs on out there. The signs are just about deteriorating. They're falling apart along the highway. I think it's 674. And, well, as close as you can get right now is the main gate. And that is it. It's all locked up. See, this is the entrance, how you normally would come in. And I got out, I kind of poked my camera through the gate to see how far my camera would reach. And about as far as it could reach was where you paid your fee to get into the ranch to see it. And that's what's left of this old iconic Texas tourist site and movie set. So I'll miss it, and I'm sure many other folks will miss it too. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video. I mean, the whole movie set is still there, and it probably wouldn't take very much to bring it back into shape again if the Texas movie industry chose to do so. So, guys, be safe out there, and until next time, take care. I'm Francis Kiefel, and I approved this video.